Hey everyone, welcome back to the Glass Seats podcast. This is our show where two hockey aficionados discuss their perspectives on headlines surrounding the NHL, including recent stories, game highlights, league culture, and other topics trending amongst the fans. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and this week in hockey, the story continues to remain up north in Canada.
Yeah.
These Canadian teams aren't catching a break this year.
No. Well, I don't know. Things are looking up a little bit.
Yeah, for some of them.
Yeah,
but
for some of them.
Like, it's like they're either really, really good or at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, who's middling? Like, Winnipeg, maybe?
I guess Toronto, kind of.
Toronto, yeah, but that's a problem, right? Because Toronto being middling is a problem.
Yeah, Toronto's supposed to be good. And nobody expected the Atlantic to have all these sudden surprises. I don't think anyone expected Detroit. We didn't expect Detroit to be this good. So.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't expect Boston to still be this good.
I mean, I kind of did, but it's crazy how good they are.
Yeah, they're still leading the Atlantic after losing their top two centers.
Are you worried, though, that they might be like a regular season team under this coach?
I mean,
Jim Montgomery.
Sure, but it doesn't matter. That's still impressive.
I mean, it's impressive. I'm not discrediting by any means, but like, is it going to win a playoff? Like, what if they're cursed in the playoffs now?
I mean, I feel like Boston kind of is.
Oh, is he fair?
Let's be real. If they didn't win in 2011,
yeah,
we'd be talking about them in the same breath as like the Sharks and the Canucks.
Flyers.
Yeah. They got through in 2011, but they had so many years where they fell short.
Yeah. What was it? 13? 13.
13, 19.
Oh, yeah, 19. Yeah, you're right.
And last year.
And last year. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So
this suddenly turned into a Canadian episode and then shit on Boston episode. So
it's close enough to Canada.
Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah.
All right. But what are we talking about today? We're going to spend some time talking about the Canucks because they've been really good and we haven't really talked about them.
Yeah.
We're also definitely going to get to the Oilers and their coaching change. Mm-hmm. So that's coming up in the show. But let's start in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Elias Pettersson leads the league in scoring.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The last I checked, it wasn't him, but wow, good for him.
And I just saw at some point today, games haven't finished today.
Yeah.
The top three scorers were Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, and JT Miller in the NHL.
Insane.
All played for Vancouver.
Yeah, you're welcome, Vancouver, with the Sharks game. The 10, what was it? 10-1?
10 goals. Yeah.
Just a nice little stat pad for everyone.
Yeah, everybody's getting points tonight.
Yeah. Want to boost your stats? Play in San Jose or play against San Jose. Yeah.
But let's talk about Vancouver.
Yeah.
Going into this season, we did our previews.
Mm.
We were not sure at all about Vancouver. This is a team that we were saying at some point last year should blow it up, probably.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is also like, as far as we've been watching hockey, they've had some elite years for sure.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they've just been disappointing. Almost like the Minnesota Wild of the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so. I remember specifically seeing an interview, or it was at least a quoted interview with Quinn Hughes, and he said, "We're sick of tired." And keep in mind, he is the captain. He said, "We're sick and tired of losing." And I think something about that just kind of sparks the mentality. There's a mentality change. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
It's not saying that it's exactly the same roster as last year. It's definitely not. But there's a lot of returning players. And a lot of big names have stepped up from after, you can call it a sophomore slump, you can call it whatever you want, but those big names are back. Brock Besser and, Bo Horvat was shipped out last year, but, they're proving now they didn't need him.
Yeah.
They didn't need him. And this new team led under Quinn Hughes is legit.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is the first time I feel like Vancouver's legit, right? Yeah. Since the Sedin brothers left.
I think this is the best team. This might be better than the 2011 squad. In my opinion, I think so. I mean, it's a little bit early to say, but
that 2011 squad should have won the cup.
Yeah, they should. I don't know what happened in that game 7, maybe Luongo or something. Yeah, I don't know, but this team looks legit. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm being a Canuck hater a little bit. I thought this was a fluke to start the season. You know how like every season Buffalo starts off with an insane winning streak or something, and then just tailors off. They haven't tailored off yet. If anything, they've put the foot on the gas and gotten better. So.
Like, I remember, I think this was 4 years ago. I'm forgetting the exact year, but it was the year right before Markstrom went to the Flames.
Yeah.
And he had that insane season in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That team was really good, but it felt fluky.
Yeah, it did.
This one doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
This feels like, okay, this is what the Vancouver Canucks are.
Yeah. This feels like a dangerous, like actual cup contender. Yeah, I'll say a cup contender team.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know everybody's waiting for them to like cool off, but I don't feel that for this year.
Yeah.
I think this is legit.
I think they're out for vengeance. And that's what I mean about the Quinn Hughes quote, where he's like, we're so sick and tired of losing. I think there was something that switched in that mentality. And even with, Elias Pettersson apologized to the coach for his poor performance.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude's playing lights out, has one bad game.
He's leading the NHL.
Bad game, and apologized to his coach about. Wow. That's what I mean by mentality shift.
Yeah, and I think we have to give props to Thatcher Demko as well. He's been really, really good.
Yeah.
And this is what the Canucks have needed, right?
Yeah.
Is a solid goaltending performance.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, I don't think they had it since the Markstrom days, and it kind of hurt them a little bit, but there was so many issues, and there was the whole COVID kind of spread around in their locker room and took them all out for a while, and they were not physically healthy enough. They were just barely playing the games because they had to. It was just all over the place. But now this team looks, again, legit. And I don't know. If I'm a Knights fan, I'm also a little bit worried about this team being in the division.
Oh, I think you're going a little far. The Knights are,
I don't know, this team
on their own level right now.
Sure. I'm not discrediting them by any means, but all of a sudden this team has come out of nowhere. Like, it's not, Vancouver and Vegas have never been rivals, really. And now there's a legit chance they might play in the playoffs.
This is what Vegas does, though. And insert any team in Vegas. Oh, they've never been rivals. One playoff series and they're rivals.
That's true.
Because Vegas is so in your face all the time.
Yeah, especially with their pregame shows.
Yeah.
They just go over the top in every aspect. And,
Name a team Vegas has played in the playoffs that doesn't hate Vegas.
I was going to say Winnipeg, but they've been eliminated twice now by Vegas.
Yep.
So... yeah, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe Minnesota if they've ever played. I don't think they have, but
no. But I don't remember if they have. But the big ones: San Jose hates them, LA hates them, Dallas hates them.
I think a lot of teams hate Vegas too, just because this team that didn't exist, 9 years ago, just came in and took the league by storm. So,
but I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If you can't really hate that. I mean, you can hate that as a passionate, biased fan, but as a fan of the game, I don't know how you can hate it.
If I was a neutral observer of hockey, like you'd
so
love
sick.
the story, right?
Yeah, I hate the Knights personally, but man, that's so sick what they've done. I don't know. You gotta give the roses.
And Vegas themselves just fuel on that hate, right? They're like, hate us.
They love being the villain.
Yeah.
But I mean, can we say that the Canucks this year are kind of the villain because people like us already wrote them off. Most people had written them off, right?
I'd say underdog, right? I wouldn't say villain.
Okay.
Well, look at the cast of characters they have.
Yeah.
People love Elias Pettersson. People love Brock Besser. People love Quinn Hughes. They want to see these players succeed.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when JT Miller was a hot trade?
Yeah, that's gone.
Trade topic? Yeah.
That's over.
That's long gone, yeah. So
even freaking Connor Garland's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's... This team is, we're kind of going in circles here, but yeah, this team looks legit. And
so let's talk about
scared.
One new aspect here is the new coach this year, Rick Tocchet.
Yes.
Took over for Bruce Boudreau. And when Bruce Boudreau was let go, that was an unpopular decision.
Yeah.
But do you argue with it now? Like the last time Tocchet coach was in Arizona, it didn't go that well.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember when there was the fire Lindy chants in New Jersey?
Yeah, and then sorry Lindy a few games later.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's no different here. I mean, sure, it's not as verbal from the fans, but clearly, like, again, as we've mentioned many a time on this podcast, fans don't care who the roster is. They don't care who the coach is. They want to see the crest, the logo they love so much, win games and championships. They don't care who's on the roster. Like, that's how you build, like...
anything will be forgiven if you win.
Essentially, yeah. Essentially. Like, nobody cares. It can be an AHL squad. And if it start taking down NHL teams left and right, and you win a cup, they don't care.
See Vegas 2018.
Exactly, yeah. That AHL team they're heroes now.
Yeah, and remember when Vegas traded Fleury and everybody was mad at them, and then they won.
Yeah. And people have just completely forgotten. I'm sure people will still have, Vegas like Fleury jerseys.
Yeah,
and
my Vegas jersey is a Fleury one.
Yeah, there you go. But nobody cares in Vegas because they're like, we are cup champs, not, we're the team that traded away.
Yeah, I think you get in trouble when you start trading away fan favorites and you don't win, or you get worse.
Yeah, see San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
Joe Pavelski left.
So if they had left Boudreaux and TOCCHET came in and the team was not that much better, oh, they would have heard it.
Yeah.
That would have been
I'm sure. Yeah.
GM getting fired level, you know?
Probably, yeah. So do you think it was like kind of a fire under his ass if he didn't?
For what?
Like if they weren't doing well this year, if Vancouver was not doing well this year,
absolutely,
GM would have got canned.
Oh, I'm sure, if not more than the GM. You know, like
complete overhaul.
Vancouver was running out of patience.
Yeah,
and we were going into the season not knowing what this team was going to be.
Yeah,
are they going to trade JT Miller and rebuild?
Yeah,
and trade Thatcher Demko and rebuild?
Yes,
or are they going to compete? And suddenly they come out of the gate hot.
Yeah, it's not even competing; it's curb stomping at this point. Yeah,
yeah.
So,
like, if Vegas wasn't freaking Vegas, they'd be leading the Pacific, right?
Yeah. Would they be at top of the league, or is Boston still ahead of them?
That I don't know. I can double check for you real quick.
Because last I checked, Boston was way at the top again. Not sure if that's a regular season team or not, but
okay. The top three in the league are Vegas, Boston, Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's 27, 26, 25 points.
It's still insanely close. Insanely, like a game, maybe 2 game difference. Like
Boston and Vancouver are tied on wins. Boston just has more overtime losses.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So on par with each other. And nobody expected this. Everyone expected Vegas and Boston to, still be good, but people like us were questioning whether Vancouver was like a legit team, what their identity was, and here they are. So
their identity is now kick ass.
Yeah, kick ass and take names.
Yep,
that's a good identity to have. So,
speaking about coaching changes, shall we get to the big story of this week?
Yes,
Jay Woodcroft, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, is fired, replaced by Chris Knobloch.
Mm-hmm. Nobody picked him up either, right?
Woodcroft, not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I don't see this man coming back anytime soon.
Chris Knobloch was the AHL coach for the New York Rangers, the Hartford Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm.
He was also Connor McDavid's coach in the OHL for the Erie Otters.
Yeah.
In addition to Jay Woodcroft, assistant coach Dave Manson was also fired and replaced by Paul Coffey, who was in Oilers management but not a coach and has no coaching experience, but he is now an assistant coach.
It's an interesting move. I didn't know that, actually.
Jeff Jackson, who is the CEO of hockey operations, was also McDavid's agent previous to this position, and he was the one who had sent McDavid and Knobloch in the in juniors as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of connections to Connor McDavid in this hiring and throughout the organization, which is why it's kind of stirring up this news.
Yeah. Do you think this was also? Do you think there was a conversation behind closed doors? McDavid said, "Go get someone else," because I did see that the initial reaction was, say McDavid and Draisaitl both just kind of had the same surprised reaction where they saw, he was fired via text, and they were just as shocked. So I have a hard time believing that McDavid had a huge influence in this directly, but I'm sure at that point, it's a generational talent in his prime. You keep him happy. So
McDavid himself has said, "No, I didn't know about the firing, and it's not that I'm pulling the strings of this team." He's come out of his way to say that.
Yeah,
and if I'm honest, I believe him on that one.
I do too. Yeah,
but I do think there must have been a conversation of, "Are you happy with this coach?" And maybe he voiced some concerns. I doubt he said you should fire him.
Of course, yeah.
But maybe it's something like, "Oh no, I don't like this or I don't like that." X, Y, or Z. Right? It could be that, or it could just be, hey, the Oilers suck right now and they need a shock to the system.
Yeah. I honestly, that's what I think it is. That's what it feels like to me, because sure, McDavid has been scoring more. It's got a very, very long ways to go to catch up to even the top 10, top 20 in the overall league. But the entire team seems to be playing better, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think they've lost as of Thursday, November 16th. I don't think they've lost.
Yeah, the 2 games Knobloch has coached, they've won both.
Yeah. So I think really this was just a kick to the system, really. Like, just kind of like, hey, wake the hell up. We're losing. We should be winning.
Which kind of sucks for Jay Woodcroft, right? That means he wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
He just needed a shock to the system.
Yeah. So, I mean, was he the scapegoat then?
Yeah. Before Knobloch, Jay Woodcroft had the best point percentage in Oilers history.
Oh, wow.
More so than the 80s Oilers.
Okay. I mean, well, then if you need to change and the change works, it's not really a mistake, right? It's exactly what we just talked about with Vancouver. So,
but yeah, if you were Jay Woodcroft, that's like
That sucks, yeah. But
and like if you look at the two games the Oilers won, have they played fundamentally different systems or something?
To be totally honest, I didn't watch the full games for either of those.
Even on the highlights.
Oh, okay.
It's Oilers hockey. It's run and gun offense.
Yeah. That's kind of what I got, so I didn't want to make a conclusion, but
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, look at how they won those games, right? One of them was off of Evander Kane just scoring 3 goals.
Yeah.
And I think they
it's not really their concern right now.
If you had a team built like Edmonton's is today, how would you win games?
You don't really have a choice. I mean,
exactly.
You spent all your defense money on Darnell Nurse, so
yeah. So the way your roster is built today, and that is not going to fundamentally change in the course of a season. This is how you have to win.
Yeah.
So you got to steer into it, and it's not like Woodcroft didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, like, so what could he have done, really?
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that he was wrongly fired or anything, but I feel like he was damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, right?
It was like wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I was like...
And there was reports also of like Ken Holland, the GM of the Edmonton Oilers, saying Woodcroft could not change the lineup or bench players because they were so up against the salary cap that they didn't have the flexibility to do that.
Okay.
Which means you tied Woodcroft's hands.
Yeah.
You had no methods of injecting energy into the lineup.
Yeah.
Because typically, what does a team do, right? Oh, the energy's lineup, let's change the forward lines. Let's drop out some of the bottom 6, get some energy guys in there. Put some rookies in the top 6 who really are like run and gun.
Yeah.
Get some fresh blood in the system.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do that because the salary cap, they didn't have room to call someone up, right?
Yeah.
So the one move Woodcroft had, which he pulled like 3 or 4 games into the season, was to put McDavid and Draisaitl on a line. And starting from I think the Heritage Classic, they were playing on a line together, and even that didn't work.
Yeah. To be fair, wasn't McDavid benched a couple games ago, or
I don't know. Like McDavid, we talked about before, is probably playing hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think he is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was about to bring up. Like, what if his injuries just healed slightly better?
Yeah.
So it could have left Woodcroft in this long, they would have still won these 2 games.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Right? Yeah. Or if it's, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what an NHL player feels before a game or when their coach is fired, but is there maybe a little bit of adrenaline just kind of covering up whatever pain he's dealing with?
Yeah, could be.
So, I don't know.
Like, yes, they replaced the coach, and yes, now they're winning, so good for them.
Yes.
But I don't think it was fundamentally the coaching.
So what was the problem, do you think?
It just felt like they got in their heads. It was all mental. Like, you give up a goal early and you just can't claw back.
Isn't that the coach's responsibility then to?
But the coach had no tools that he could use.
No. I'm talking about like fixing the mentality of the team. I mean, like we talked to, I think maybe it was 1 or 2 podcasts ago, how Mike Greer, San Jose Sharks GM, kind of just berated his team a little bit, and they needed it. And then they won their 2 games and stuff. Sure, it wasn't long lasting, but it was a kind of a kick to the system. Why couldn't have Jay Woodcroft done that before being fired?
I mean, I'm sure he tried. So then maybe you're right. Maybe he deserved to be fired if he couldn't get in their heads.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that what you're supposed to do as a coach?
Yeah, but like I said, it's also the physical things on the ice, right?
Yeah,
like change the lineup and get new blood in and those kind of things.
Yeah,
look at what Toronto did. Toronto went on a losing streak. They switched out their bottom 6. They dropped Ryan Reeves. They brought up Nick Robertson. Suddenly they look a lot better.
They did spend a lot on Ryan Reeves, but that's besides the point.
But they got him out of the lineup.
Yeah,
right when they needed to.
Yeah,
like Edmonton didn't do that or couldn't do that, and suddenly the only thing Jay Woodcroft can do is yell. Yeah, and if you yell enough times, they just get numb to it.
It's noise. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and what, you're gonna yell at Connor McDavid to play better? He's obviously playing hurt.
Yeah. I mean, that's so strange. I feel like the whole thing has been a cover up. So I feel like he is, but at the same time, nobody's gonna say anything. So
yeah, like honestly, if the Oilers had started better and were somewhere in the middle of the standings, they probably would have let McDavid rest.
they would have probably kept Woodcroft too, no?
Yeah, but it's this perfect storm of they didn't start well. Now McDavid's playing hurt, so they're going to look worse.
Yeah.
Because now it's not only are they losing. If they were losing and McDavid wasn't in the lineup, everyone could be like, okay, everybody take a chill pill. Once McDavid's back, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
But now everybody's like, McDavid's in the lineup and we're losing and McDavid isn't scoring.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You know?
It was a perfect storm for him to get fired, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what do you want me to say? This is the best player in the world.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for Woodcroft. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get at, where, you know, he did well last year and even the year before they went to the West Finals and got swept by an absolute beast of a Colorado team.
I have no doubt that if someone's looking for a coach in the offseason, Woodcroft will be at the top of the list.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting how it all played out. I do think it's maybe not tragic, but it's definitely unfortunate the way it unfolded for him. But you know, maybe this is the start of a team really getting their shit together with a good coach that they really desperately needed.
We'll see. Then later run now, they've got the beginnings of one. Yeah. But if they can get into a decent position by like the All-Star break, then they're looking good.
There's also no like restriction on when you can fire or hire a new coach, right?
There's no restriction in terms of like timing.
Yeah. But, like there's no, like the trade deadline.
No, I don't think that matters. But there's a financial restriction. So right now, Edmonton still owes Jay Woodcroft his money. So they're going to be paying 2 coaches right now.
I mean, worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it. You're supposed to save the season or win the season, whatever. But yeah.
So we go to the other side of Alberta really quick.
Yeah.
Last episode for this story, Nikita Zadorov, defenseman for the Calgary Flames, has requested a trade. That is an interesting trade piece.
Yeah. Especially for the other Canadian team. Maple Leafs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, we just mentioned how they try to outscore their problems. Not sustainable if you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. And, you know, Toronto was, I don't want to say they were struggling, but they weren't doing as well. If Matthews wasn't scoring a hat trick, they weren't doing well.
I mean, so they're in a playoff spot.
Yeah. But, you know, you expected them to do better. And Detroit has kind of almost taken their spot, right? So it feels a little...
This is the team that should be leading the division.
Essentially, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. And you know, they need help on defense.
Yeah. Defense is like a big gaping hole, and it has been for years in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right?
Besides Morgan Riley, it just keeps switching in and out. So,
well, there's John Klingberg, who's been
atrocious for one season. Yeah.
What do you mean? He's there right now.
Yeah. Like he just got there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
and he's atrocious.
Yeah. So, I mean, side tangent, that man really, he gambled on himself, but really lost.
Oh, yeah. Like, he fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
He should have taken that long-term deal in Dallas.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he went to, I think, Anaheim. It was. Yeah. And then Minnesota. And then
he thought someone would give him more money. Nobody else had cap space.
Yeah. This reminds me of, I think his name was Dennis Schroeder in the NBA, where the Lakers offered him like a 4-year, 80-something million contract. And he declined it because he thought he would get somewhere else, and he ended up signing for like an $8 million 1-year deal in Boston or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So whatever. Side tangent, but yeah, Maple Leafs need help with defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if Klingberg is part of this trade package of sorts.
But why would Calgary take Klingberg?
Why not? I'm sure they'll get other things with it, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like a cap dump. Yeah, so I'm not saying he's the main asset.
Yeah, the Leafs would have to pay more to get rid of Klingberg, I feel like.
Yes, that's the point I'm trying to get at. Yeah. But like, you know, I think that's worth it.
The real question is, do they trade, can they even trade one of the big four?
For Nikita Zadorov? Why would you do
Nikita Zadorov plus.
Okay, I was going to say that's like not
a one for one.
I was like, this is not a fair trade. Fucking Peter Chiarelli.
I'm not. Here.
Yeah.
But for Nikita Zadorov plus, like, are they a trade piece? Is Nylander or Marner a trade piece in this?
There were trade rumors around Willie for a while, but he seems to be doing very well in Toronto. I can't see Toronto honestly trading him. I can't see Toronto trading any of the big four. To be completely honest, at least not for Zadorov. I don't see why would they.
Well, if you're stacked on offense and you need defense, who are you trading?
Right, but I mean, they're going to pay one of the big four for Nikita Zadorov? I don't know.
Nikita Zadorov plus, right? Maybe some prospects, maybe some picks.
I see.
But
do they need that? Does Toronto need that right now?
Doesn't it? Not right now, but doesn't every team need that?
Right. Sure. But,
Like, they have no cap space right now.
Yes.
Like, I just pulled up their cap friendly. Projected cap space is literally zero.
Yeah.
How are you pulling in Zadorov, who makes about $3 million, right? You have to send $3 million-ish back.
Mm-hmm.
Klingberg is 4.1.
Yeah.
So that would work.
But they have to give up more for it.
Yeah, they'd have to include a pick, especially if they're not going to retain on Klingberg.
Yeah.
And if Calgary's hoping to be competitive this year, they don't want John Klingberg.
Yeah. I mean, is Calgary hoping to be competitive this year?
I think so. I mean, it's a little early to throw away the whole season, right?
Yes, but like, did they enter this season being like cup or bust, or did they enter this season with the mentality of at least let's try to make the playoffs?
Realistically, or what they said?
I mean, both, I guess.
I mean, every team is going to say we're trying to go for the cup.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, so within the organization, internally, what do you think was said?
I think they would want a decent playoff showing.
Okay.
Like, not just make the playoffs. Like, I think they were hoping for like
First,
a round 3
round.
appearance at least.
Okay.
You know? Which means going through one of Edmonton or Vegas.
In that case, maybe trading for, one of the big four does make sense. But for me personally, I just have a hard time believing that Toronto's willing to part ways unless they like fail spectacularly in the playoffs again. I just don't see it happening, especially not for Nikita Zadorov. It's got to be a bigger name player at hand, I feel like.
I'm also looking. All of Matthews, Tavares, and Marner have no movement clauses.
Mm-hmm.
William Nylander has a modified no trade clause with a 10-team no trade list. So Nylander, if you want to trade him, would have to accept the trade to Calgary.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what his priority is. Is his priority to make big money? Is his priority to...
He's not even signed for next year.
Yeah. I don't... Honestly, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot in the air for what happens this year, whether it goes for the playoffs or whether they make a big trade at the deadline or even earlier. I don't know. Toronto has a lot of what ifs right now. I just don't see it happening with Nikita Zadorov, at least not one of the big four. I think they're going to trade a lot of picks that they don't have, or prospects that they won't have soon, to make this happen. And even then, I don't know if Calgary's going to take that. There's no guarantee that he's going to the Maple Leafs. Like there's so many other teams that could trade for him. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of teams that could be using defense. I just don't see Toronto being the one to win this trade. Yeah, because what are they willing to part with?
If it's not one of the big four, then you're talking some of their premier prospects, right? You're talking Matthew Nyes, Fraser Minton.
Yeah. What I'm thinking here from my perspective is, if you're Toronto willing to trade or going to trade most likely William Nylander, I'm not trading for Nikita Zadorov. I'm shooting for much higher than that. And sure, it could be Nikita Zadorov and
a first round pick.
Sure, it could be more, but does Toronto need that right now? I'm not going for like picks and all that, right? I'm being an armchair GM literally right now, but like,
wouldn't having a defenseman help you more than having an extra forward?
Sure, but I'm just saying, William Nylander for Nikita Zadorov and else like
and
picks, sure, doesn't seem. It seems lopsided, in my opinion. I feel like you could be shooting for a much higher caliber of player
than Zadorov.
Yeah.
And still getting the salary to work, you're saying?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
You're not getting Erik Karlsson.
No. And
right?
Erik Karlsson's not getting traded this season. No.
Yeah. So you're not getting that caliber. You're not getting Thomas Chabot.
No.
What caliber are you hoping for? Like what I'm trying to say is there's the upper echelon of defensemen, right?
Yes.
The Quinn Hughes, the Cale Makar, the Erik Karlssons.
Those are like elite tier.
Yeah, you're not getting that tier.
No.
The tier below that, isn't Zadorov in that tier?
I suppose, yeah. Okay. I mean, the thing is, like, you could shoot for the elite tier. I just don't think.
But who's giving you that?
There's some stupid GMs out there. I don't know.
But I mean, which one of those GMs is on a rebuilding team right now?
That's true. Yeah, none of them. Pittsburgh's going for it. Vancouver's going for it. Yeah. Okay.
Like if
Colorado's going for it.
If I look at the bottom of the standings, right, and who has a defenseman to trade?
Mm-hmm.
San Jose. No NHL level defenseman to trade.
No NHL level players in general. Yes. besides Blackwood.
Nashville. You're going to trade for Roman Josi? Are they going to give you Roman Josi?
No. I mean, that would be elite if they could. That would be really good for Toronto if they could. But
yeah, but I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Seth Jones, maybe.
With all this huge contract.
You already have John Klingberg. Why do you need Seth Jones?
Yeah, no.
Right? Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
They're not giving you Nurse.
Also on a huge contract.
Yeah.
So.
Columbus. Werenski's not leaving. I doubt it.
You don't think?
Yeah. Provorov is the other one, but if you want to...
Honestly, why not a Werenski for Willie?
Werenski for Nylander?
Yeah, I'm not saying 1 for 1. I'm sure there's probably some other assets in there, but like that seems fair to me.
Mm-hmm. What it'd be up to... I think pretty sure both of those players have clauses. So,
okay, fair.
You know.
Fair.
Like, yes, now you're talking about Zach Werenski versus Nikita Zadorov. That's the difference you're talking about here.
Yeah. For me, if I'm Toronto, I'm aiming for the what's the right aiming for the moon shooting?
You're shooting for the moon and hoping you land amongst the stars.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do here. Whether it actually happens or not, it's dubious in my opinion. I just think they might as well try. Well, because everyone knows who William Nylander is and what he brings to the team.
True.
I don't know.
True.
I feel like it's worth shooting for.
Maybe this will be something to come up around trade deadline time.
Yeah. This is probably, we're overshooting it here. There's no guarantee even he goes to the Maple Leafs, but I don't know.
All right. We'll keep an eye on that story.
Yeah.
But I think we should wrap it up for this episode. We've been going for a while here.
Yeah.
This has been Glass Seats. Typically we're out every week, but we will be off next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy your Black Friday.
American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or as Canadians call it, Thursday. Come on, we gotta bring the clip back. We're not gonna let that pass.
Yeah. Enjoy your
Thursday and Friday. Or your Thanksgiving, whatever it is.
Yeah, if you're all in school, enjoy your break.
Yeah.
But you can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Google. We're also on YouTube and Instagram, where the handle is @Spud Network Podcast. You can find this show. You can find our other shows. Wherever you listen to us, watch us. If you leave us a like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, helps us grow the show. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.